I was so nervous that I was going to go through TSA and they were going to it was going to be in my pocket. I was going to pull it out and be like, oh my God, I'm going to have to just propose right here, which probably would have been a great story too.
Hey Chillas, today we are going to be talking all things jewelry and wedding insurance with our sponsor, BriteCo Insurance. And with us is the founder and CEO, Dustin Lemick. Welcome to Bridechilla, Dustin.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So before you started BriteCo, you actually worked in the jewelry industry. So tell us about that background.
Yeah, I kind of have an unusual background. So I come from a family of jewelers. I was a third generation jeweler. My grandfather started our retail stores in Chicago in the 1950s. So my family runs retail jewelry stores. And, I was working in the field and we did a lot of work with insurance companies. And I just saw that things were broken from my perspective. And that's sort of what launched me and was the impetus to starting BriteCo.
And you started that in 2019, right?
Actually, 2018. We came to market in 2019, though.
And then COVID hit.
And that was super fun. I mean, that was great. There's nothing like starting a business in COVID.
Right. And especially with wedding insurance. So kind of tell us about what that experience was like, because I'm fascinated with, weddings had to really pivot. A lot of people couldn't have weddings, or you had the birth of micro weddings really becoming an important thing and not just a random thing, right?
Yeah.
So how did that actually benefit you starting during COVID?
So it's a great question. So during COVID, we had the jewelry insurance product in the market. We did not have the wedding insurance product in the market. It was part of the impetus for starting and bringing a newer wedding insurance product to the market. We were seeing, and I really try to pay close attention to insurance markets, especially for consumers and related to the wedding ecosystem and the jewelry ecosystem. And so we were seeing, just like you guys and everyone was seeing, claims being denied left and right for COVID and people losing a lot of money. And I just started understanding, look, this has to be so much better. Like these products, these insurance products, the wedding products they need to be better. And so that was part of what, kickstarted our journey into offering both wedding cancellation insurance and wedding liability. So we offer both of those two products.
Yeah, right before we get into that, I just want to touch upon, you made the comment that you saw something missing. Where was that gap? Like what was missing that we weren't getting provided by other people?
Yeah. I mean, to your first point, COVID, I believe we're the only ones that cover COVID, along with other illnesses as well. But that was the first thing. I'm I can't believe nobody's covering this. This is why you buy cancellation or postponement insurance for these types of things.
Yeah.
And so that was the first thing. But we also offer, we believe when we bring insurance products to the market, they have to be valuable, they have to work, and they have to be reasonably priced. And so some other things that we wanted to offer, so we offer something called cancel for any reason, which is kind of just like what it sounds like, which is an amazing coverage. The only thing we don't cover with the cancel for any reason is if it's a already known event. So if you already know you're canceling and that you can't go buy it, but for all the unforeseen events and things like that. So, COVID, more broad coverage, some other things too that are smaller in size but also meaningful, like pets. I don't know if you see people that are including pets in their ceremonies.
Yeah, they're ring bearers. They're they're just to take photos. Sometimes they're the entertainment at the reception.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they can kind of go bonkers and do something, chew a table or something, do something.
Yeah.
So
bite a cater.
Yeah, and then there's some. Biting incident, whatever. We don't have to go into that.
I'm sure if you have stories, we're all ears.
Well, the pets are particularly interesting / funny. Making having an accident on an expensive rug. Yeah, and then somebody getting a bill afterwards being like, the rug is ruined. It was a much more expensive rug than anyone thought. It was in the thousands of dollars, $4,000 or $5,000. As a wedding couple, you kind of don't want to get a bill after your wedding for So anyways, that's what those are the types of things we cover. Also, not to go too deep into the coverage aspect, which I can do for sure, but we'll cover property damage. So a groomsman maybe has a little bit too much to drink and damages something in the venue. This is relatively common.
Which is something I hadn't really thought about until I was searching for venues. And, botanical gardens, museums, you have to take out an insurance policy to get married at any of those type of venues, right? And it didn't dawn on me until they had said that. I'm like, oh yeah, someone could just get drunk and puke in this expensive orchid area. You know what I mean? Or totally. Look at that, medieval painting, and then go to touch it and
There's a lot of situations like that where you just don't think about it. Actually, to your point, more and more venues are actually requiring it to be purchased now too.
Do you think it's just to cover themselves because of, broken champagne tower glasses and things like the pets, or because of COVID?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty reasonably priced. For liability, it's like $120 on average. And for cancellation, it's, also a couple $100, depending on the size of the wedding. And so that for a venue or a wedding planner, it really helps avoid a very difficult conversation. So postponement or cancel, those types of things where there's a lot of very legitimate reasons for somebody that might need to postpone the wedding or cancel the wedding.
Death in the family, illnesses.
All of those things.
Change of heart's included, right? 'Cause that's a hard pill to swallow, but
yeah,
it does happen.
Change of heart, or change of heart for postponement, which we see actually more, which is we're not breaking up, but the timing is bad. We need to push this back 6 months.
Or we can't afford it. We need to save more money.
Or we can't afford it, right? Or somebody deployed in the military or things like that.
Oh, yes.
And there's a financial component to all of this, right? And those are conversations that really a venue doesn't want to be in the middle of, nor does a planner for the most part, in my opinion. And so just to know that there's a financial backing there, that somebody spent a few $100s on a line item to make sure that, it's helpful.
I know you have the big three. So it's jewelry, wedding liability, and wedding insurance. Do you think there's ever a case where a couple just needs to purchase one of those packages, or is it generally custom that you have all three in one insurance policy?
No, I mean, we see people completely customizing and buying a jewelry insurance policy and then also the liability and not doing the cancellation. Although we do recommend folks to get the liability and the cancellation just for really broad coverage. And we also give a discount, a bundling discount, to try to encourage folks and to try to make it a little less expensive too. But ultimately, as a general line item for, amongst all other line items, a few $100s for this is, I think, worth it.
For sure. I 1,000% agree. So with the jewelry insurance, kind of walk us through what that actually means. Because some people might think, I know initially I just thought it's just your wedding band or your engagement ring. But it actually is deeper than that. And a two-part to this question, did your jewelry upbringing and background influence this policy?
So 100% it influenced the policy. I have a very deep knowledge set when it comes to jewelry. I'm also a gemologist. So, I know everything to be known about jewelry. And so when we built that product, we really wanted to think from first principles and start from the beginning and understand, okay, how do we really make this the best in class product? So yeah, I definitely brought, and so we cover, as for example, we give an extra 25% coverage. We have a preventative maintenance piece of the policy, which is huge. So prong retips, or, obviously a stone falls out, or earring backings need to be replaced, all that kind of preventing maintenance type things.
Your wedding day jewelry is included.
Yeah. Yes. And so, but the jewelry product itself, it covers, really we cover any type of jewelry. We cover engagement rings and wedding bands and watches and studs and, tennis bracelets and whatever,
Expensive cufflinks that you might get from the jewelry store. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And the coverage is really broad. So it covers damage, theft, loss, mysterious disappearance. That's the big one where, it's people are like, what is that?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. It's like it sounds, it just mysteriously disappears. Like, so for example, somebody's like, I was wearing my engagement ring 2 days ago. That's the last time I remember wearing it. I don't remember taking it off except for going to sleep. And, it wasn't stolen. Like I know for sure it wasn't stolen. I wasn't out and so it's just gone. And so I don't have a real reason for it. I just know that it's gone. So we actually cover that. And so
oh, wow.
Those are things that a big misconception is that homeowners insurance offers adequate coverage, which it does not in generally does not. So
no, it's getting worse.
Yeah, and it's getting worse.
So you said you were a gemologist, so it had to be a pretty big deal for you. I did my homework on BriteCo before this, and you were actually rated top rating on IGS, which is the International Gem Society report card. That's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. They're a well-recognized organization in the jewelry space. But part of it was sort of what I was going to before, like, we worked really hard to build this product from scratch and to bring a best-in-class product to the market. And so I will say, though, it's very nice to have that recognized for sure. But to your point, we brought a lot of expertise to the table as well.
Well, it's being recognized because also I'm going to toot your horn more because I saw you were 2024 Forbes Best Jewelry Insurance and Brides Magazine gave you a best overall rating. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a huge deal.
It is a huge deal. I'm beyond proud about that and just the product we can offer our clients and the service.
Yeah.
I'm a huge service. Like we've talked about, come from the jewelry industry. Like service is everything. So I always bring that kind of mindset of, customer service has to be like world class.
So let's talk jewelry. So give us some tips from your experience on looking for our wedding bands. And if you don't have your engagement band yet, and maybe you're in the market for it with your significant other, what are the best tips for finding the best ring for you?
So definitely go and see things in person, try things on, go to multiple different, have fun shopping. Have fun. Number one, most important thing, have fun. I see people that are like, they take it very seriously, which you should. It's a lot of money. I totally get that. But
it's a lifetime investment.
It is. And it's something you're going to be wearing for, forever. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's really should be a very fun experience. So when I was in the jewelry industry and our company, my family's business, like we make it fun. That is like a huge important thing. But also I see too many people relying on Instagram and look, it's awesome to be able to get ideas and to get concepts and to see things. But ultimately it's different when you put something on versus when you see it in a photo. So
like the celebrity trends, like currently Selena Gomez is engaged to Benny and, the marquee diamond is now a hot thing because of her. And like in the past, and we've talked about this on the show before, of course, the sapphire ring from Princess Diana, which Kate Middleton, Princess Kate now has. So things like that can influence you easily as well.
Totally. And that's a great point. And the other thing too is like trends will come in and come out and marquee will be hot one year. And then the next year it will be a cushion. And the next year it will be a pear shape. So it's really about having fun and buy what you like. Like I always am like, what do you like? Don't get too caught up in like, this is what's hot right now, whatever. Like,
do you think it's important that you go together to find the ring? Because I do know a lot of, and this is more male in specific, they don't want to take their partner. Like they want to surprise them.
So I think it's very individualized. So I think it's different for every couple. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I've seen some folks like that, both the wedding couple, like they really were having fun and both wanting to be involved, heavily. And that's amazing. But I also do know people like me, for instance, like I wanted to surprise. I also obviously know a lot about the jewelry. So I knew what I was doing when I was buying my wife's ring.
Yeah.
But so the surprise thing is awesome too. So it's really like kind of what's your flavor?
Yeah, it's your vibe. So let's talk about your engagement because we love a good engagement story here. I think you said you and your wife have been together 13 years now, right?
Yeah, just over 13.
Yeah. So tell us about your proposal story.
Yeah. So I actually did something really stupid. I very rarely talk about this, but I actually I was so nervous, and I did have insurance, thank God, but I checked the ring. I hid it in a check bag. Like I was so nervous because it was a surprise. And we were going from Las Vegas to LA.
Okay.
We got engaged in Santa Monica, and I was so nervous that I was going to go through TSA and they were going to it was going to be in my pocket. I was going to pull it out and be like, oh my God, I'm going to have to just propose right here, which probably would have been a great story too. So I checked the ring, which I never recommend anyone doing that. Thank God it got to LA safely. The whole flight, I was like,
oh, you had to be sweating.
I was like, what did I do?
That bag gets lost, gets stolen, damaged. Oh my God.
So
them rifling through the bag and they're like, just pocket it.
So the first thing I did is I ripped through the bag immediately, like in the airport. So I grabbed it. But yeah, we got engaged in Santa Monica. Like I got a really nice room right on the beach, and it had a balcony. And so we got engaged, went for a walk on the beach, and then we went up to the room and I proposed on the balcony there. It was beautiful. It was really nice. And then had a limo come pick us up and went to a great dinner and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Is Santa Monica very special to y'all?
I used to live there, but it's not like some super special place for both of us. It wasn't previously. Nowadays, whenever we go back, we're like, oh my God,
You made it a special spot.
We made it, exactly. Yes.
So we had Andrew from Marlin Jewelers on the show, and he made the comment, his hot take from his years of experience was that the more elaborate the proposal, the higher the rate of divorce. Did you see that? Or is that more on his side of things?
No, I don't.
I wouldn't consider yours elaborate. I think yours is kind of like a normal, not normal, but you know what I mean? I wouldn't consider that over the top.
No.
I think he's meaning the what we're seeing a lot on Instagram and stuff now with
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I thought mine was special, but not super over the top, but special.
But with the spark fountains and the big floral hearts, I think he was going more towards that.
I didn't see that so much, but it wouldn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me.
What other advice do you have for us when it comes to wedding jewelry in general? Because there is a lot more. We always concentrate on the engagement and wedding bands, but we forget there's so much more that gets included throughout the day. You're choosing your earrings, your necklace, bracelets, watches, giving gifts.
Yeah. One thing that we did at our stores that I think is interesting is if you have a close relationship with your jeweler, you might ask them, hey, do you want to have some exposure at the wedding, some additional exposure as a jeweler besides just, the rings? Would you be open to loaning us a necklace or something that I could wear on my wedding? We did that sometimes, and some jewelers actually like that. No, some would be
I thought that was just for red carpet appearances, because you hear celebrities get to borrow jewelry all the time, but they have security guards around them because it's a $30,000 Harry Winston. But
well, you want to get insurance again. You want to have it, make sure it's insured, so you don't have to worry. But if it's insured, some jewelers will definitely entertain that. If you have a close relationship, if you have no idea, they don't know who you are, if you bought it online or whatever, it's different. But that's one thing I think. In terms of the wedding jewelry, though, I personally, I like classic. I like pretty relatively simple. Depends on your vibe, depends on your dress, depends on all that. But I always kind of recommend go classic, it totally depends on your vibe.
Yeah. What do you think, and maybe this is a hot take, of people exchanging jewelry the morning of the wedding?
I love it.
Do you think it's pressure to have to wear it that day?
No, I don't think so. Also, if you wanted to do something like that, you could also consider doing it a day before, like the rehearsal. Yeah. Do it the day before for the rehearsal, and then there's no pressure there at all. And then
I love that.
If they want to wear it on their wedding day and say, hey, this is amazing. Like I actually don't want to wear it tonight for the rehearsal. I want to wear it tomorrow. Like, great. There's options there.
Yeah.
But I love it. I gave my wife something on our wedding day. She did not wear it that night. She had family heirlooms that she was wearing. She had like her grandmother's earrings that were beautiful. That's another thing too.
I was gonna say, would heirlooms be covered then under that insurance?
100%. Yeah, we definitely cover heirlooms. I mean, that's an amazing way to go. Like, wear something super special. Like, integrate that into your wedding. Like, I love that.
Me too. I'm all for the something old, new, borrowed blue. That is a traditional thing that I am 1,000% behind. I love it.
Totally. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I could do without the penny in my shoe.
Yeah, no, you don't need that.
I did it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's just a pain in the ass in your foot all night.
Yeah, that's like, oh my goodness.
So why is it so important for newlyweds listening to, or newly engaged also, to get wedding insurance and get this coverage? Like, let's throw it out there. Like, why is this so vital?
I don't think all insurance policies are valuable. Like, I think there's some insurance policies that are just not worth buying in most situations. Some of them are really expensive, and it's like, man, like, that's a lot of money to spend for coverage for whatever it might be. We like to focus on coverage that's reasonably priced and that's valuable. So that's what I think wedding insurance is. I think it is reasonably priced and valuable, and it's really protecting you for like the unforeseen events. It's not like, nobody thinks that, like, there's these weather events that happen that are happening every year. Like, you don't think necessarily about that, but that could be a huge financial burden. I'm glad you said it, because we always think about rain on our wedding day, but you do not think about hurricanes and flooding and fires.
I mean, it's not even flooding with the weather. The venue could flood.
100%.
A pipe could bust and you're fucked. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, venues could go out of business. I was reading a story a couple weeks ago, and there was a beautiful property, and it was right outside of New York. And it was like a countryside estate venue, very nice venue.
Yeah.
They went bankrupt, and they closed overnight, and they sent everyone that was scheduled that year. This was 2024. Sorry. And so one of the people that were quoted in the story, their wedding was in 3 weeks at that venue. Yeah. So, okay, there's a lot of stress that goes along with that, obviously, but these people were going to lose like tens of thousands of dollars. It didn't say in the story whether they had insurance or not, but those are the reasons why you want to have insurance. Now, those are the big things, but there's also smaller things too that it'll cover, that are just kind of an annoyance and also a financial thing. Vendor no-shows happen sometimes. The florist doesn't show up, or something's wrong. Things like that.
The cake falls out of the van.
The cake falls out
during the transport.
Yes, exactly right. So those are things that would be covered, and for a couple $100, I think it's worth it.
Absolutely, there's a peace of mind there, because even if you have that unfortunate incident or situation, you're financially covered because you are already spending a lot of money.
Absolutely. That's it. You nailed it. It's the peace of mind.
Is there any other misconceptions you want to debunk when it comes to having wedding and jewelry insurance?
I mean, the big one for jewelry insurance is just your homeowners I mean, if you think your homeowner's policy has adequate coverage, I'd double check that, because a lot of people think, oh, it's covered under my homeowner's policy. But a lot of times there's like very large deductibles that render it still like out of pocket. There's usually a cap to how much they'll pay.
Yeah.
And so like when all is said and done, it's like, oh my God, I thought I have coverage, but I only had coverage for, $1,500, and I have to come up with the remainder of that. So it's like, how good is that coverage? And then, I mentioned like things like mysterious disappearance, like they don't cover that. So I would that's one thing I would definitely check. And then for the wedding products, just that it's valuable, that it's like, I think, or at least learn about it, because a lot of people don't know about it. We put a lot of educational information on our website. But yeah, at least learn about it and understand, is this something you might want to have?
And you gave a valuable point that when you're looking for your venues and you're talking to your different vendors, check and see if they're insured.
Yes.
Because it's kind of a two-way street, right?
It totally is.
Okay, so we're nearing the end. It's time to do the Fuck It Bucket, our round of hot takes. As a reminder, I'm going to throw out a wedding-related thing, and you say yay or toss it in the Fuck It Bucket. If you want to give more context, more than welcome to. All right?
Perfect.
Starting off with lab-grown diamonds.
I think in general, yay. For me,
Yeah.
Fuck It Bucket.
And can you tell us why? Because I know that's such a hot debate right now.
It's a hot debate. The reason I answered that, which is sort of a non-answer, but for me, it's Fuck It Bucket. But I have no issue with other people buying lab grown. The reason I say Fuck It Bucket for that and don't love it is because they're truly not worth much. And so I'll give you an example. Somebody will spend $5,000-7,000, whatever the number is, on a lab grown, and they will save substantial money off of purchasing a natural. The problem is when the value of that diamond now is worth near zero. So you've like literally like lost everything overnight. It's like buying a car. So when you buy a car and you drive it off the lot, they're always like, you lose 20% or whatever the number is right away.
Yeah.
A lab grown diamond, it's like losing 100% when you drive it off the lot. I don't like that.
The only thing I can think of when it comes to cars is like, that's kind of like some kind of old jalopy versus like a diamond being like a 1969, Corvette or something that's considered still valuable because it's,
Well, a diamond, like a natural diamond, it's like that kind of old saying where you drive it off the lot, you lose 20%, but it still has value. You could still sell it. It's still valuable in terms of a monetary store of value. Not that that's why you're buying, but I like to buy, when I buy things in general, it depends what it is, but I like, if I can buy something that's valuable or that holds value that, make a smart and like purchase, then that's what I'm going to do. And so that's why I'm not a huge fan of lab grown.
Okay, cool. Colorful gemstones.
Yay. All day long. Yay.
Do you think they're not utilized more? Like people don't consider it enough?
100%. I love colored stones. I love alexandrites, and I love color change stones and Paraiba tourmalines and all of these types of stones that are sort of not mainstream but are amazing. So I always recommend people like go Google Paraiba tourmaline and see the color of what that looks like. It's amazing. So I could go off on this, but yay. Definitely.
I love it. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like get your birthstone or get like you and your partner's birthstones and make it like.
Yeah. And they're like, I think they're underutilized and they're beautiful. Like a blue sapphire is amazing.
Oh,
like,
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. Large wedding parties.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a yay. I like a good party.
Brides wearing tiaras / crowns.
Fuck it bucket for me.
The current trend of the huge boutonnieres on the grooms and the guys.
Fuck it bucket.
Multi-day weddings.
Sure, yay. More the merrier.
Holiday weddings.
Depends on which holiday. In general, I'm going to throw that in the fucking bucket.
What's your exception, like New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's I think is okay. I don't love anything with like a religious undertone to it. It's just like there's too much going on there. Thanksgiving is like personally my favorite holiday. And so it's just like I personally would be annoyed if I had to go to a wedding. Like I like the whole tradition of, you know, low key and family and turkey and football.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
And my wife loves that. Yeah. So like, yes. So in general, I'm throwing that in the fucking bucket.
Do you have a preference of DJ or band? Or would you throw them
band?
Either one? Band?
Yeah. Or both.
Both? You're for both.
Like, no, I would do band. I mean, if I was going to say band or DJ, I'm going to go band. But I kind of like a band followed up by like the after party DJ situation.
Yeah. I like that too. I like the live music, especially like ceremony and then like cocktail. And then let's get our groove on. First look or wait for the aisle?
I'm going to go classic on this and wait for the aisle.
Here's another fuck it bucket one. The garter toss.
Fuck it bucket. I mean, it just doesn't do much for me.
Guest books.
Yay.
You like a guest book?
I like a guest book. I do. I just think it's nice to be able to reminisce and flip through it and see who's there and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm a yay on that.
Speeches.
Yay.
All right, last question. What is your all-time favorite celebrity and or royal wedding?
Oh, man. I'm probably going to give you an answer no one's given. I'm going with a movie, and I'm going with Wedding Crashers.
Hey! I love it.
I love Wedding Crashers. I'm from Chicago. Vince Vaughn is from Chicago. Also, the cast is outstanding in that. I know it's not like a lovey-dovey traditional wedding type movie, but I love comedies. I think it's great. So.
No, it's become a classic, right? Like it's such a great wedding movie.
Totally. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so Dustin, it's been so much fun getting to talk with you and really appreciate you taking the time and giving us all this great knowledge. How can we get more information from you and about BriteCo? Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been fun. If anybody wants to learn more, they can just go to our website. It's just brite.co, BRITE.co. And tell them Bridechilla sent you. For sure. Thanks, Dustin. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media and visit us at thebridechilla.com. Bridechilla is a production of Evergreen Podcasts. Thanks to our producer and audio engineer, Graciana Longfellow, our video editors, Kay Holmberg and Jesse Lee, and our executive producers, Bridget Coyne and Gerardo Orlando. Of course, a special thanks to our OG Bridechilla, Alicia, and to Megan Ely of OFD Consulting. I'm Leah Haslage. Until next time, Chillas.